You need to decide between the old world and the new world as winner or loser. To help you do that, here are your survey results from last Friday. For the old world, the greatest benefit it received from the new was this collection of food crops: potato, sweet potato, and corn. Second greatest benefit also had to do with food, and that was beans. Switching over to harms, you guys said the greatest harm to the old world was tobacco, and the second greatest harm was syphilis. The new world, the greatest benefit they got from the old was livestock. The second greatest benefit was grapes. Greatest harm, those old world diseases. The second greatest harm being the honeybee. This project builds on what we've done step by step. First, you guys sorted out what items came from the old and the new world within the Columbian exchange. You learned about some of the most important consequences, and you sorted out those consequences into harms, benefits, or things that were neutral. These, what you guys have locked onto, is the greatest harms and benefits. That is the key evidence you're going to use for this mini project. What you are going to do, no matter how you do it, you do have some options, is to produce an argument as to who is the winner and who is the loser in the Columbian exchange based on these benefits and harms. I'm going to talk about an opportunity for bonus points, but for now, let's just set that aside. All of your decision should rely on weighing up these benefits and harms. That's it. So the first thing you need to do before you decide anything else is figure out who you think is the winner and who you think is the loser. And from there, use the evidence to back up your argument. This is something that will count for test credit. I don't do that to scare you. I see that as an opportunity for you guys to get some good test credit points to bring up your grades as we go into May. The format for your argument is largely up to you. You can go with the very old school persuasive essay. And by old school, I don't mean there's anything wrong with that. That is one of the two most often chose options. You can make a poster. The poster, it has to be submitted as a PDF. And you can do different things. You can make a paper poster and then take a photo of it, convert it to a PDF, and I can help you with that if necessary, and upload it. The district also pays for Canva, so you can use Canva. Within that, you have different options for things that could make a poster, like infographic would be a good format for a poster. You can also make a pamphlet or a brochure with Canva. And for that, you could also use infographic. You just change some things, or you could ask it to help you format specifically a pamphlet or brochure. Either of those things would be fine. You can make a video or animation, but you need to submit it as a YouTube URL. I'm not going to TikTok. If you have some trouble formatting that, getting that into a thing that you can upload to YouTube, again, I will help you, but understand that that's kind of one of the burdens of doing a video or animation. I'm not trying to discourage you from it. I just want you to know that if you get into that, you need to make sure you've got all the technical details lined out. And the only thing that I will accept as a physical assignment is a visual representation that is three-dimensional, sculpture or model, for example, that you will physically submit to me. Whichever form you choose, you need to make sure you convey the following information. First, that claim that I told you to start with. Who are the winners? Who are the losers? The new world or the old world? You need to make sure that however you convey it, that you explain what are the two most important benefits and harms for the old and new world. All of the evidence you need for this is on pages 13 and 14 in World History Notebook number 3. you do not need to use any other source of evidence. You can, but you don't have to. What I am primarily interested in is seeing how you can use the small amount of information that we already have to back up your arguments. Also, I want to make sure that if Eli decides to do an essay and Jake decides to do a poster, that Eli doesn't just get to run wild on the internet, come up with all kinds of other evidence, and meanwhile, Jake somehow has to convey messages in images and much more limited amounts of text. So if we're all working with a small amount of information, kind of all keeps us on an even footing. That said, if Eli chooses to do an essay and really feels like there's some other evidence he wants to use, he can use that. I did tell you there was a bonus points opportunity, and there is. You can get 5 bonus points for each additional pair of benefits or harms that you explain for the old world and the new world.
So I could get like 100 extra bonus points.
Well, no, because we only have so many things that we talked about. You could get a lot, but it wouldn't be quite 100.
I could get like 50.
You probably could get 50. If you were trying to get me to say that other thing that is missing an F and a T sound, I won't do it. All right. As an example, if you want to tell me about an extra benefit for the old world, you have to also tell me about an extra benefit for the new world, right? You can't stack the deck, right? If you're somebody particularly devious and villainous like Eli. Since we're already using you as one example, we'll just double down on that, and decides that Eli is going to talk about 8 awesome things the old world got, but only the 2 kind of awesome things the new world got. You can't do that. You've got to keep it balanced.
Can like one have an extra one?
No. You have to do them in pairs.
So one world is better than the other.
Well, yes, and you're supposed to argue that. But as you do that,
if you give them the same amount of information.
well, because you could say that, like,
But you could make people be biased by giving more information on one, and then therefore.
and you still can. You can still do that. That is a totally fine strategy. Totally fine. I didn't say that you had to try to pick 2 benefits and explain why they were evenly matched. But you just have to. That would be weird, but sure. Okay, all of that is going to amount to your evidence-based argument in support of your claim about who is the winner and who is the loser. Okay, you have until the exit slip to start working on this. And again, you should be able to get time to work on it Monday and Tuesday after you have finished the check and correct tests. Okay. All right, please get started.